up the right, and then it'll pull out the left. So see this left side, 15-minute mark, then 12, microwave, or you can pan fry it. Take long? Just 1 minute. Really flavorful. So glad I chose the pineapple. Hey there, YouTube friends. So good to see you today. I'm excited to be in the kitchen with you. We're going to try a new to me recipe with a not so new device. You know me, I love my kitchen gadgets. Today, we're going to be using my Pampered Chef Air Fryer. And I had gotten the Kebob attachment and I've yet to use it. I think I bought this machine like 2 years ago, so it's really embarrassing to say this, but I'm in the middle of the pantry challenge, and so I was looking. We had purchased this pork loin roast, so I thought, what can I do with that? And I happened to go to the Pampered Chef website. I found some sort of pork kebab, I think is what it's called, but I am going to be altering that recipe just a bit because in the spirit of being in the pantry challenge, we're going to use what we have, and I'll tell you all the changes as we go through them. So let's get started and make some lunch. Well, I'm going to do things a little bit backwards and different from the directions, well, pretty much the whole time, because that's just kind of how I do things. They want you to cut your meat and your veg first, and then they have you make this marinade, which also becomes a salad dressing. I won't be serving the salad dressing because I don't happen to have what they suggest for ingredients for the salad. So we'll come up with a different side. But I'm going to go ahead and make the marinade as a full-on measurement. Even though I'm supposed to hold back some of it for a dressing, we're going to use the whole thing as a marinade. And that is because instead of using a 1 pound pork loin, I have a 1.8 pound pork loin roast. And by the time I get it nice and trimmed, I'm sure we're going to be about 1 3/4 pounds. So it's going to be almost a double batch anyway. So that's the first change that we're going to talk about that we're doing right now. So I want to make that marinade first instead of second. It's really simple. They call for orange juice. Well, I don't have any orange juice on hand. And also on the kebabs, we're supposed to use mangoes. I don't have mangoes on hand. First of all, in Kansas, we can't grow them, but it's hard to get them this time of year, even if I wanted to go to the store. So I happen to have some home canned pineapple. We're going to open this up. I love when you can hear that seal pop. It smells lovely too. We're going to open this up and we're going to get our 1/4 cup of juice from our pineapple juice, because you don't want to waste that stuff that you've canned. A lot of times when you can, I've learned my lesson with my pineapple that the flavor goes into the juice. So even if you use water or sugar water, in this case I had used water, so I know a lot of that flavor went into my water. It kind of extracted it, if you will. Set that aside. We'll use that pineapple in a bit. The next thing we need is some honey, but I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to teach you a little trick. We're going to use our oil first in our utensil and then do our honey. So we need 2 tablespoons. It suggests vegetable oil. We're staying away from vegetable oil more now and using olive oil. It's just a preference. So you use whatever works for you. So there's 1 and 2. Looky there, guys. I'm excited. Now I could throw this bottle away. We've gotten through some of those. I've got several open bottles of oils over there, and this is a great way to get rid of that. So because we did our oil first, we can do our honey second. And the reason you want to do that is because honey will really, it'll stick. So this way I can put the oil in first, and then check this out. The honey is it just slipped right on out. That's a little tip from me to you on easy cleanup. And there we go. A second jar done. Lastly, all we need is some seasoning. They suggested a rotisserie seasoning that, of course, Pampered Chef sells, but I happen to have this golden roasted chicken seasoning. I feel like it's going to be the same thing, so that's what I'm going to use. Use an entire tablespoon of that. And I'll just grab myself a whisk and we'll whisk this up. And I just want to get out any lumps that was in the seasoning or the honey. You know, I want to incorporate it really good with the oil. And that's it. That's the marinade slash salad dressing if you want to do it that way. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You know, another alternative I could have used was lemon juice. But like I said, because we had the pineapple open, that's what I was going to use today. Now all I need to do is start cutting up our veggies. I'm going to do it that way because I want to, I'm just going to do the pork last to kind of keep my hands good and clean. So it suggests 1 pepper. In case I don't feel like that's going to be enough, I've got a orange pepper. I bought one of those multi-packs a while back, and these were starting to really show their age, so they needed to be used. So I was glad to find a recipe that used both these fresh peppers and the pork because both needed used. You may have noticed I got this pork at a discount. Do you ever shop your meat discount market? So many times you can really save money if you go in the grocery aisles and see if they have any markdowns, and they mark down vegetables and fruits and canned goods and meats, all the things. You never know when you're going to find a good markdown. Just going to trim this up. I don't really want any of the white parts. And I want cubes. So let's see. We like peppers, so I'm going to make nice big chunks. You really want to stay about that 1 1/4 mark. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this pepper. You didn't think we were going to forget about these tops now, did you? No way. Now that we've got those off, we can actually get ourselves 4 to 5 more pieces of pepper. If you want to get creative and add onions and mushrooms and things like that, go for it. There's no reason you can't. It'll just take up more room on the kebab. So kind of remember that when you go to put all your pieces on there. Next, I'm going to make sure I add in that pineapple. Don't want any extra juice in there. So we'll go ahead and make sure to pour off any extra juice. You can save that, add it to a little bit of soda, or, you know, freeze it for another time. When I was a kid, that was like my favorite thing. When Grandma would open like some peaches or something, she would let me have all the juicy stuff off of that was in the can, whether it was store-bought or homemade. I loved it. That was my favorite part. Now we just need to cube up the pork. I do not want this layer of fat on here. So we're going to cut this off to make it a little easier to handle. I'm going to cut this into some smaller pieces first. I'm just going to try to stay next to the fat layer, taking off as little of the meat as I can. We want our pieces about 1 to 1 1/4 inch, kind of like this, so that it is at the right thickness. I think the key here is just to make sure that they're uniform in size. That way you get even cooking. Because if you have too big of pieces, the little ones will burn and the big ones will be underdone, and nobody wants that. If you're wondering, absolutely, this would be a really good recipe. I think you could use beef tips, but personally, I believe chicken would be an excellent substitute for this. Now, I'm just going to get my hands in here and coat all this to make sure that we have marinade all over everything. And this is just a quick marinade. This doesn't have to set for very long at all. It's just to kind of coat it. And there is plenty of liquid left, so I can see why they would have just had you put the 1/4 cup of the marinade in with this. But I'm going to let this beautiful medley sit for just a little bit while I clean up my kitchen because I'm a clean as you go kind of cook. So I've just got to take a minute. Okay, I gave our cutting board a quick rinse. I washed it with some soapy water. Not that it was necessary. I don't know. I feel like I needed to. And we're just going to skewer them on. I think we'll start with we'll do a pepper, meat, and pineapple rotation. So now maybe I'll use a red pepper. Oops. Careful, these are sharp. Do not hurt yourself, please. And that is what they said would fit, was they wanted 2 pieces of pepper, 2 pieces of mango, and 2 pieces of pork on the recipe. So I'm going to stick with that as what I do. And then you just put it in the hole here. You twist and you kind of pinch and it'll go right into place, just like that. Okay, I fibbed. There's way too much room on there. We're going to make it be 3 because we can. I think you just want to make sure you leave yourself enough room so that the food does not stick to the side. See, there's still plenty of room here. Got my cutting board here. We'll just put this on here like that. And I'm going to continue with these skewers doing the same thing. Pepper, meat, fruit. Pepper, meat, fruit. They suggest on the instructions for this particular rotisserie thing to alternate every other one to kind of help keep balance. I am just going to go opposite sides. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. We're just going to kind of do it. We're just going to go for it. You know you did it right when it's locked in place. There is this tray in the bottom of this particular air fryer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some olive oil in my spritzer. And I'm going to spritz the bottom of this pan. Okay? Nice and good. And I'm going to take the rest of the meat, veg, and fruit. I'm going to kind of squeeze it as I grab it out of the bowl. And I'm going to spread this on the bottom. So this is to show you that if you do not happen to have the rotisserie, you can still air fry it on a sheet like this and still get the tasty meal, but it won't, you don't have to have the special machine. Next, we just put this in the air fryer. And how this works on this particular one is, right, you put in on the, there's a special little holder, and then this just kind of sits in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. So now we're just going to turn on our air fryer. All I have to do is shut my door, and I'm going to turn it to air fry, and it comes up at 400 degrees. So let's try 12, and I'm going to push rotate and then push start. My air fryer will beep at me at the halfway point. And so because I have this meat on the tray, I am going to flip it over. I'm not as worried about the vegetables. I think it's going to take more like the 15-minute mark than 12. You just kind of check on it. When you're trying a new recipe, it's hard to know exact. I'm going to put that back in. Plus, this is on the very, very bottom. It's not really getting the airflow that you would typically get. Air fryer just shut off. It has been the 12 minutes, and we're going to take a little peek inside here. To me, it looks like it might be done, but undercooked meat kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in for another 3 to 4 minutes. So now the air fryer has gone for a total of 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and take this out and see what it looks like. I'm so excited. Special tool here that comes with it to be able to take our rotisserie out of the air fryer. So I'm just going to carefully line up my notches, lift up the right, and then it'll pull out the left. Because see, this left side, it slides right in there. There it is. Our rotisserie. It looks so good. And then we have this down below because we had a little extra. Nothing wrong with having extra. I love leftovers. I've got this old, and I mean old, thermometer, and I want to make sure this is done. So we'll reach in the internal, and pork needs to be at 145 degrees. It's reading 154. We're good to go. I'm going to take and let our rotisserie set aside, and then I'm going to take all of this in the bottom tray, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put all of it, leaving some of the juices behind and just getting out the meat, veg, and fruit. Put it aside, and then what I have here is something we can stick in the microwave, or you can pan fry it, saute it. But I thought, I've got my air fryer. I'm doing an air fryer video. Why wouldn't I just air fry it? So I'm going to open up this package that, of course, I got on one of those deals this fall. If you followed along, I don't remember if this one made it in the video or not, but in the fall, like stock it September, I find lots of goodies on discount, and I stock up for winter. So I'm going to put this multi-grain mixture on our pan. I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to mix in those juices, because if you saute it on the stovetop, they suggest you add a little water to it. Well, I figure, why would I not go ahead and just use the drippings from our kebabs? Kind of separated all the pieces, kind of soaked some of that up. We're going to put that on the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and just regular air fry this for just, it only takes a minute in the microwave, so probably about a minute in here would be perfect too. That didn't take long, just 1 minute. Let's get it out. Give it a stir. It doesn't quite feel warm enough to my liking, so in for 1 more minute, it's going to go. Okay, our favorite part, the taste test. I've got some pork, I've got pineapple, I've got pepper, and a little bit of our grain. Let's give it a try. It's a big bite, I don't know. Okay, guys, really good, really flavorful. So glad I chose the pineapple. I'm sure the mango is amazing too. If you've ever tried this recipe before, please let me know. Let me know what you may have done differently. Did you add red onions? Did you make the salad with it? I really like the sweetness of the pineapple. The grains are really good, although I do think a lettuce salad would serve well too. And the crunch of the pepper with the bite of the meat, it's all just wonderful. If you made it this far in the video, I am so excited because I've got some really great information to share with you. This video today is part of a collaboration where you could win an air fryer. Not this one, it's mine, but there will be an air fryer. I don't know the brand, I don't know the size, but I know that it'll be free for one of you. And all you have to do is go to the playlist, which will be on one of our host channel. We have Jamie at Jamie's Country Living, Tina at Life in the Piedmont, and Gail at Gail's Southern Living that are co-hosting this. So any one of those three ladies will have the playlist or on their channels to make sure that you are watching the right one. Another way to find out if you're going to be entering and making comments on the right video is to follow the hashtag SizzleAndServe25. There, we will all have a very similar thumbnail, and it's an easy way to find all of us. The best chances of winning are to make comments on each and every video. And don't just say, looks nice, yum, good job. Make a heartfelt comment. Actually watch the video. Find out what the content is. And if they are people that you think that you can jam with, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share the love and give them a chance, would you? The best information is yet to come. When is this giveaway? It will be over on Jamie's channel, February 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I love when you're here with me on whatever I do. Bye for now.